Shoutout. Welcome everybody to Tower of Disko.
Yeah, welcome. Thanks for being here. We're gonna start really soon. Maybe not all of you are familiar with. Let me take this out, huh? Maybe not all of you are familiar with Tower of Disko, Teatro, or the speaker of tonight, which is Tracksuit. Really honored to have him tonight. So, do you know something about Tower of Disko, what we do? No, right? So we can say something about it. Tower of Disko is basically a community-based event organized. We try to connect people more with music and give them back that connection that we feel sometimes is being taken from us, you know? So connect indeed with the stories behind the artists, the stories behind the albums and the movements. And we try to invite people that are really enthusiastic about the topics they want to talk, you know, so they can share this enthusiasm. And hopefully you can pick it up, you know, and and discover by yourself the magic that is music. So that's Tower of Disko. Then of course we have Train Track.
Hello, Timo, DJ Tracksuit. Big fan of Joe Claussell. Self-proclaimed biggest fan. I don't know if it's true, but I did run out of space in the Kalak Square in my house where all the records are, so I feel like I know what I'm talking about. I warmed up for him once at ADE and had the pleasure of meeting him, which was a very beautiful day in my life. It's these meet your heroes moments where you are actually very pleasantly surprised by how beautiful of a human he is, which really complements the music that he makes. This is one of his tracks we're listening to right now, which is a collaboration with Nitin Shawnee, and yeah, he just has such a wide discography that after 5 years of digging his music, I still don't think I've listened to all of it. I'm still in the process of finding new music and buying the records, and still amazed by just how much beautiful stuff he's made.
Yeah, for sure. He has a big production. Joe, we're gonna see it, part of it at least. It was great, man. I didn't know that you met Joe, actually. Like, I'm blown away by this. But yeah, Timo also...
He gave me a hug, actually, after my set. Ooh. Big moment in my life.
Yeah, and Timo also organized amazing party, Locomotion, also an art here in Utrecht. I've been to many editions and they're really worth, especially for the dancer. We do invite the DJ and do back-to-back with them. And every time it's a new vibe and always interesting. And lastly is Teatro, of course. I want to say something about this place. This place was in Utrecht. It was made by a friend of me and a whole team, you know, of wonderful people that they stand for the right things. I'm really happy that he's still here, you know, moving to Kabul. Just thanks to the whole team, you know, to build this up in 1 month, you know. Grateful for that. Okay. So I want to ask you first, how many of you knows about Joe Claussell, what we're talking about today? Yeah, we have the DJ team that is ready, we see. Nice.
4 people, that's a good amount.
Yeah. It's a good amount. And maybe somebody of you also have bought some records or... Okay. 2 records. Oh, Joe, you got it. Nice. So you know already a little bit about him, I guess. For the rest of the people, we're gonna discover it. But for now, I want to say that Joe is a house producer, but he brings word sounds in a unique way into house, and is responsible for a whole way of producing music into house that keeps the live experience of these word sounds alive inside his tracks. So it's really remarkable.
I think also because his background is in live music and percussion, and that's what he does on his tracks. Is he always invites people in a group session, I think, or like in a lot of his music. If you read the liner notes, you will see 7 people, one on the congas, one on the...
Yeah, invite a lot of musicians to the studio, right? Yeah, we're gonna go over it because also one of my favorite musicians was present in one of my favorite track of Joe, Jekalo, Olatunji, the percussionist. Well, so
I did not know.
yeah, I love Olatunji. But yeah, so we're gonna start diving in first about a little bit about where he from, you know, and its origin. So maybe you can tell us something about it.
Joe is from New York. He's from he has Puerto Rican roots. I think he grew up in. These Puerto Ricans know how to make music for sure. Yeah, so he grew up in New York in the time where we were just born, or not even born yet. Like around the 80s, I think, is when he came of age in the clubbing scene and started working in a record shop, dance tracks, I think. And his first steps into production as well, early 90s. And then later joining Body and Soul to organize his own parties. I don't know if you want to add anything to that.
Yeah, so it was also part of the, like, it was part, even if it was maybe not an actor, of the club scene of New York in the 80s, right? So he experienced firsthand, for instance, the Paradise Garage and these legendary clubs that were present back then. I think also the Inferno. Oh, you have a book here.
Brought a book to pass around so people can see, have a little look into these clubs.
Oh yes, yeah, David Mancuso there.
Have shaped the culture that we enjoy every day, or like put so much into what it is today. I feel like New York in the 70s, 80s, Chicago in the 80s was really where this culture is coming from. House music culture, dancing together. So I want to pass this book around so people can have a look, starting with the loft. Maybe just look at the pictures, because if you read, it's going to be a long passing around the book. There's the loft, the gallery, Paradise Garage, Studio 54 as well, but I think where it all started is these 3. So I'll pass the book around.
Yeah, we also had a speaking. The first speaking actually of Tower of Disko was about this topic. So the club of the 70s and 80s. We talk about loft, we talk about the gallery, we talk about Le Jardin, we talk about the Studio 54 then. So it's all a process, let's say, in creating modern day clubs. And he was part of that, you know. He was not an active player, but he was experiences that in this day. Also, it's not really a lot of names, right, Joe, in his production?
Yes, but I want to say one more thing I think is important, is that his background's also in dancing. As a dancer, he went to these clubs, and out of that experience, like you have yourself, you know, like you go clubbing to dance, out of that comes inspiration, and then you start making music. So that's what you hear in his music, I think. It's perfect to dance. Any time of the day you can find a Joe track that makes you dance. Or like anytime I'm in doubt in a DJ set and it doesn't work, I know, like, yeah, I can play this track and everyone will start dancing more, because that's what the music, how it speaks to me.
Yeah, many DJs were dancers before being DJs. Joe is one of those. Also Francis Grasso was one of those. Terry Newell as well before. So it's a long tradition of enjoy dancing and enjoy music. So many people can know the name of Joe Claussell, but he has also a lot of alias. I personally have an album that was given to me by Timo of the Bayara Citizens. So it's also another name. Yeah, this one we're talking about. Yeah. I play a track of this album. So yeah, of course his name is well known, but his alias are not so well known. So I put them some together here. There's the Bayara Citizen that we're listening to right now. And that's this one's Mental Remedy. I think I found a fitting picture for it of Joe. And the last one is Bola that I found, but I think there are many others, but these are the most important. So if you ever find one of those names, you know what you're looking at.
did my best to pick a short song, which is rare with Joe, because most of his songs are like 8 to 15 minutes. This one is only 3 minutes.
Did you like that track? Yeah, it is a good one. I have it.
It's on this this album that we're passing around, Electric Africa, the Bayara Citizens, which I think is like a collaboration of a bunch of live people in the studio, in his studio or something. So read the liner notes, then you can see who else is on the track.
Yeah, so we say that Joe was born around the 60s and he come to age like when it was the 80s, so enjoy all the club scene of New York back then. But also his family was a bit pivotal, let's say, in bringing all this musical knowledge to him, because it's a big family. They all listen to music, all kind of different style of music. And I think it's really important this when it comes to give a kid a formation about what music is and what music can be also. Because if you don't hear it, then you're missing it. And that's it. That's a fact. So yeah, I experienced all the paradise. But if people knows from the first speaking that we had, the paradise closed in the bad year. I hate that year, 87. I remember, yeah, because it was 10 years after they opened. And so, yeah.
Sadly, never went. I was born in 88.
Yeah, I know, man. I had the same feeling. But yeah, the paradise closed. I think Larry Levan fell away from his life, you know, and I read a lot of interview with Joe, and he told that in that moment he felt that magic was like gone, right?
It could be. Yeah,
like
I can imagine, because Larry Levan was like such a, I don't know, must have been like a father figure to a lot of people in New York.
Yeah, and also
Paradise Garage was the church and he was God.
Yeah, in a way, we will also see the flyer of Body and Soul, and I can see a little bit of Paradise Garage, right there, the Kate Herring vibe, you know, Kate Herring art. I see that in those little man.
This one.
Yeah. With this little man dancing around, I see a little bit of the Paradise vibe in the Kate Herring style, you know.
Yeah, interesting. I never noticed that. Okay, yeah.
But yeah, the time of the garage came to an end, and he was already a little bit DJing, right? Back then, he was already familiar with spinning records.
I don't know. I wasn't there, so could be. Yeah, I guess. Sorry, that's a stupid joke. Yeah, I guess that's what happens. You know, you see someone like Larry Levan DJ, and then
you get inspired by it.
You get inspired. You want to do it, or like try to.
Yeah.
Do it like him.
Yeah, but then we got to a point where finally he landed in a spot. There was dance tracks, records.
Record shop.
Is a record shop. So a record shop, let's say, open up the door, right? It's a turning point, at least. This record shop.
I think so, because you like a record shop really is like a social space. I think that's what a lot of people forget these days, because everything's accessible digitally. That a record shop is, in essence, a place where people meet, people that like music or the same kind of music. And if you are working in a record shop in New York at a time like this, that must have been like a pivotal moment, because that's when you start meeting all these people that are into the same kind of music.
Yeah, exactly. Also because the dance tracks was specifically aligned with, let's say, with the house, the Paradise sound. So many DJs, I think also Larry, also David Mancuso passed through that shop, you know.
Yeah.
So it was a really big spot, you know. Record shop in New York were always big spot for DJs and to create connections.
Yeah, because back in the days, that was the only place you could get the music.
Exactly.
And the new music, and people would line up for one of the 5 copies of...
Good times. I used to be there in line, you know. But so you end up in this record shop almost by chance, let's say, but he wanted to go, of course. But then this record shop somehow it became his record shop, right?
Yeah, I think so. I guess he must have like taken more and more responsibility over time. And I guess that's what happens if you like dedicate yourself to something.
Yeah, for sure.
Like that.
And he got also the opportunity there for doing his first production, right? Talking about Over, I think.
Yeah, so
I
think I have this somewhere on a 7-inch, but I didn't find it.
Okay, take your time.
I don't have it.
Okay, but yeah, this was the first production. We are in
Instant House, right? What's the name of that?
Instant House, yeah. Instant House is the group. They also do Lost Horizon, I think. Let me drop it. Yeah, I have them here. There's the picture of the record shop. I think it closed, by the way, in 2006. But I'm not sure. But it looks close here. And you also have the previous owner, Stan Hussein. He bond with Joe Claussell, and that's how they transitioned to, you know, doing, for Joe to be inside the stores, because of course you be friendly to the owner first. And yeah, you have these 3 tracks that are the first production of Joe, which are Over, Away There, and Lost Horizon, 1992. I think Lost Horizon is 1993 already. But yeah, I got the 10 CDs. Yeah, I see that. So these
so talking about first productions, I'm trying to find like a track.
Yeah, this is one of the newest. I think
this is one of the 96.
First. Yeah, it's still one of the first.
It's still early. I think it's before he got his labels.
Yeah,
it's still on Ibadan Records, which was an important record label at the time for this kind of house music. So maybe I'll play this one.
Yeah, for sure. It's one of the first
Or
10 CD production.
Part of it, because it is 11 minutes.
Yeah, we can just listen a couple of minutes, enjoying it. So yeah, and for the first year, it was just, like working with artists around, trying to work on the mix.
Also like 7 different versions of every record he's made. So like this is the all loved out extended vocal version. But on the flip side there's a dub and then there's other versions. So keep an eye out. This girl's blowing my cool. When I see her, I wanna run and hide. She's taking all my pride. Maybe in a couple of days I'll be ready to go back her way. She's got me all down. 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 Never thought I'd say no more, please. This love has been weak in my knees, yeah. And I know I'm a hell of a man. So what's going on? I don't understand. I'm all down. She's got me all down. She's got me all down. She's got me all down. Yeah, hey, hey, yeah. Ooh, yeah. She wanna go. She wanna go. She wanna go. She wanna keep going, going. Oh, she don't stop till the break of dawn. I'm low down, tied down. Feels like I'm about to pass out. Keep doing what you're doing.
Okay. I think we had a taste of it.
It's a bit sad to turn the track off right now. It's a bit sad to turn the track off right now, but we'll do it anyway. Yeah, maybe we like make a little
Is the
playlist.
best part this one?
I mean, the whole song is the best part.
The whole song is the best part.
But let's make a little playlist after that people can listen to the music we played.
Yeah. The show
in
will be
full.
great. Helpful and insightful, so you can always listen back to it. Yeah, so we have this first collaboration that he did in New York, you know, while he was still, let's say, on the side of the whole thing. He was working in this record shop. He was playing there, actually, spinning some records for the people, because as Timo said, the record shop were different back then. They were more like a space for the people to really connect and enjoy with music. So I did his first collaboration, but then it took over, right? It took over the record shop around the 96, I think. And he set up a record label. We have it here. Spiritual Live Music. It was 96. And he started from the back of his of this record shop, literally. You have to deal with what you have. But most of this first production, we're gonna put the one, I don't even know how to say this. Yepete Guliamu, and the Tete Kale.
I'll do it for you. Maybe better. Jeff de Guillaume and the Ted Kale Orchestra, the Prayer acoustic mix, which is on a really nice compilation. That's like a summary of spiritual life music. It's all very deep in spiritual music, as is lots of his music, of course, because it's not just house that he makes. I think everyone that's heard the track, and maybe by now you've realized it as well, like there's something more in this music that really can hit you to your core. If you hear it on a good sound system, even better. But yeah, this compilation has 8 amazing tracks on it, and you can still find it for like $30. So if you ever see this lying around, buy every copy you can get. I'm sure you'll find someone that can enjoy it.
Me.
It's not all produced by Joe. There's some other, like Slam Mode is on there, Mateo Matos, also like New York legends, Daniel Moreno, but then he has his alias on there, Mental Remedy, and then his remix, another remix of the song we just heard before, the Love Serenade mix, different mix. This is Jeff de Guillaume, and then I think it's his remix of the Jeff de Guillaume track. So it's, yeah, there's only like 2 or 3 tracks on here that's Joe's work, but all of them are like really, really nice house and deep house tracks.
Yeah, also sometimes because his record label, so it's not that everything that is produced under the label is his own production, but there are, of course, artists and songs that are aligned with his view, because that's just how it works. So yeah, this in particular is from Haiti, I think, the artist, because he collaborated a lot with musicians all around the world. One famous for me, like how I discovered Joe, was by the Evoria remixes. Evoria is like a singer, blues singer, I think, from Cape Verde. And he made a lot of remixes of her. But he's from Haiti.
Haitian roots, as a lot of people in New York have, because in Haiti, when the dictatorship happened, like in the past century, a lot of political turmoil in Haiti, so a lot of people from Haiti moved via Florida to New York. So I think in the world, New York has the biggest Haitian community. There's a lot of people in Paris as well, because it used to be a French colony, also the first colony that got liberated. But I think Jefte is actually lives in Paris, or is French Haitian, but I'm not 100% sure.
Catch your know, wow, like it's so much. So I didn't even know this. Having some tea.
Can everyone hear the music, by the way? Is the volume okay?
A little bit higher.
a bit less drilling, maybe. That's 75% of the track with the 5-minute intro. Love it.
Yeah, when the bass kick in, you really can feel it.
It's a good one to open a set with. You wanted to talk about this Evora record.
Yeah, I want to talk about these Evora records for sure.
I also want to talk about it because it's the first Joe Claussell record I bought. It's an edit by Joe from Cesaria Evora from Cape Verde, who is like the most famous singer on or from the island. Beautiful music as well. And I heard this in the school, in the basement, 5 or 6 years ago when Antal was playing. And then I Shazammed it. And it gave me the original song. Then I was like, it's not the original song. So then I started looking. Took me a while to find it. And then I found it. And this was like the first Joe Claussell record I bought. I still remember going to some bar in Amsterdam where some guy was playing and he sold me the record. Felt like super dodgy because I've never done online record buying from anyone before. So it's a bit like Timo going to buy his first record. So yeah, I think we can play a bit of this as well.
Yeah, for sure. Like also for me how I discover, not probably this particular record, but in general the Cesario Voria remixes. I found them digitally because I started collecting only 2 years ago. But before I was already listening to them because, it's great.
Big time banger, this one. So we're gonna let the track finish. If anyone wants to go for a smoke, we still have like 5 minutes or something. So then that's our little break.
Yeah, we can take like a 10 minutes break where you can enjoy your smoke if you want, or and just listen to this song while you play.
So that was Evora, an overdub from Joe. Maybe good to also talk a little bit about his production techniques, because that, to me, I figured out later, is what sets his music apart. In his production techniques, he really uses the dub way of producing music, which is like creating a lot of space using effects and echoes and different frequencies and what they do. So what he does is with a track like this, of course, there's a very good sounding kick and snare and everything on it, but he creates space, and with creating or taking away space in the frequencies of the sound, then the listener or the dancer has an experience as well that really elevates the music to another level. I think Francois K has a really nice live stream on YouTube about dub disco. If you're interested in this kind of production techniques, I cannot explain it better than this man does. It's 4 hours or 5 hours of him playing disco tracks and talking about dub and disco and all the stuff that we're talking about, but from the source. So if you like this music, I recommend checking out this as well.
Yeah, I think Francis Kravikan, we're also gonna talk about him a bit later because he do something else with Joe. But yeah, it's I consider him one of the father of dub disco. Definitely, it was. He made a lot of production. The Bush, I think, in '79, something like that. Yeah, he was one of the guys starting producing with Eco Effect.
And that also comes from Jamaica then. So that's interesting to see how the music or the production techniques travel without you realizing it. You know, it's disco from New York, but the influences from Jamaica in production techniques and sound system culture there. And then the people in New York becoming inspired by seeing that on their streets at a block party, and then being in the club and thinking, oh wait, we can use these techniques on this amazing sound system and elevate that experience in the Paradise Garage. And that's also what Larry did in his DJing, I think, and all these people. I saw Francois K play in Panorama Bar last year, and that really gave me an understanding of using the space in a sound system and using echoes. Like on the Pioneer, you have it over here, but I have my own little echo
chamber.
Echo chamber for sure, but I have this little echo pedal that, yeah, once you start understanding how that works, it's really interesting to experience the music and to play around with it. Should we talk a bit about Body and Soul? Now we're talking about Francois.
Well, maybe a bit later, maybe. Or
Okay, later.
We can talk about first the mix in the vibe. I think it was 1999. This cover is like legendary, honestly. Like you didn't see this. I don't know which planet you were living in.
Channeling the spirits, as I've seen him do live. Joe as a DJ is also a different experience. And then you realize as well what this adding of echo and special effects can do to tracks that are already great. You can then, punch them into your spine or something if you want. For the dancers.
This album is is mixed, right?
Yeah. So this is back in the days before SoundCloud was a thing. This was a DJ mix, 2 records with the tracks that. I think there's also a CD where it's like a double CD where the one is the mixed version and then the other one is just a track separately. Of course, on vinyl it's different. So here's a double LP with like all the tracks or most of the tracks from the mix, because space is a thing on a vinyl record. So I think if you have our DJ mix, if you want to include all the 8 to 12 minute tracks, you're gonna run out of space.
Yeah, this album really put Joe on the map, I think. Also with big collaboration. I think there's Mondo Grosso in right? I think there's Mondo Grosso somewhere. Production Mondo Grosso. Brooklyn's also
Could be, but I think they're on the CD and not on the record. But let's play this Hiroshi's dub. Afro Joe, it says. And then there's also someone who's playing on this record that he worked with a lot that I also really like. It's Boyd Jarvis. I think one of the people that really pushed this New York house sound, but kept it soulful. So he plays the keyboard on this track, which is his forte. So pay attention to the keys. So I'm gonna stop talking and play this record.
Maybe you can put it also from the previous track, right? So we can hear the mix of Joe. Oh, it's separate.
So I moved the speakers a bit, so hopefully you have a bit of a stereo image where you can hear the bands and like the floating music, which is this dub way of producing that you hear in lots of his music. There's more versions of this track. I have another record that has like 4 versions of it.
It's your time to dig it.
Yeah. Yeah, but sometimes there's like multiple tracks and you're like, oh, I already have this one. And then you're like, what? Completely different song, completely different setting. But he does have like certain ways of labeling it. So oftentimes there's like the Sacred Rhythm Mix, and then there's the Cosmic Arts story version, which is like the cinematic one where it's like a proper 14 minutes like musical movie, I guess. And then there's like the really danceable one. So like there's ways of figuring out what it is, but oftentimes there's like 7 different versions you really want to have, or at least I do.
Yeah, here I have some. I made some photos like of the record of Joe, so the label, so you can see it, and also some the label on a record, so you can see also how it look like in the records. If you ever find one, you're like, oh shit, I want this thing. And then you also have the other important label that we talk about, the Ibadan. Of course, it was also connected with Joe because they know each other, the two owner. And then of course you have the mix that we just listened to from 1999. Yeah. And lastly, I found while I was researching to prepare also myself, I found the musician that they tour with Joe Claussell. And I found 2 names. I found Buggle Wazeltov. And that's a funny story because I found vinyl of this guy. There's a new concept of jazz in the record shop probably like 3 weeks ago. And I really like it. And I listened to 1 or 2 tracks of it. And they were really like Joe Claussell's vibes. So I sent it to Timo and I say, yo, you know these artists because... And then I found out that actually he knows, they know each other.
And also I like was listening to these records for the first time like 3 days before you messaged me about this, I think. So it's quite funny.
Yeah, the Buggle Wazeltov is from Norway, and he's a composer and pianist. And he deals mostly with jazz. So it's not house, but he knows, you know what I'm saying?
But in a lot of the music, or like in all of Joe's music, I think there's an element of jazz in there. At least there is like one crazy piano that goes for like 7 minutes.
Yeah, and the music that we like, for sure.
Yeah, it's very jazz infused, dance music, house music, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, it's jazz is. We all love jazz, I think. Yeah. Honestly, I do love him. And the second artist I found it through with him is Mino Kinelu, which is a French percussionist. I honestly don't know anything about him, but I found his name and I'm gonna dig it, because I think it's a great sound as well. So you can check it out.
And yeah, maybe talking about digging for the people that buy records. If you see this Ibadan label on a record, listen to it. If you see the Spiritual Life label on a record, listen to it. If you see the Sacred Rhythm logo or like label on it, listen to it, because there is so much good house music made in the 90s around Joe or like in these scenes. And yeah, you can keep digging for 10 years and still find new artists.
That's how it works. Music is made by people and they spend their whole life on it. So you need a lot of time to dig it. Yes, we're gonna drop this beauty. Is his first first album that is his, with his name on.
First full-length album, I think.
Yeah.
Language, it's called. Which I think is very interesting because language is a Western construct, and in West African cultures, language is used very differently, and music is a way of, like talking as well. So I find it interesting that he named his first album Language, because the drum is a language in itself, and the instruments he uses is also a language. Anything you want to say about this track, or should I?
You want to play Jekayo?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. I want to just say about the percussionist behind this track. I love this track. I love the percussion of this track. and I found out the percussionist behind is Olatunji, which is the guy behind Jingo. Jingo, Jingo Pa. And this song was taken by Candido and Santana without credit and made into the Jingo, which we all know, you know. But yeah, Joe give credit, so let's listen to it.
This is the vocal version, by the way. Also of this song, there are multiple versions. But I guess this is like a song quite a lot of people know, like a classic, I guess. So because we don't have infinite time, sadly, I'll cut this one off a bit short. I was looking up Babatunde Olatunji on Discogs, and he's been making music from 64 till 2014. So this man knows how to play a drum, apparently. And I'm also going to look into his productions, because beautiful stuff. Back to you.
So yeah, we talk a lot about the music, but Joe Claussell name is also connected with a party. and this party is called Body and Soul. How many of you have heard about it? Body and Soul party. Okay, we have Timo. I think, I was expecting you from the vegan community. Fleur knows Body and Soul, huh? But yeah, it's a party that it started in 96. So around the time in which he was building up his label. And what happened is that two guys that are famous name in the New York community, OG we can say, came to his record shop. And these two guys are Francis Kreviokan and then
Francois Kevorkian.
Yeah, my name's pronunciation. Francois Kreviokan. And Danny Krevit.
Yeah.
Okay, that was.
Who are a little bit older. I think they're like 5 or 10 years older than Joe is. They were already doing things.
Yeah, they
earlier.
Did. They did things in the
previous generation of
exactly.
DJs and producers.
Yeah, then he started. Francis started at the Galaxy 21, I think, with Walter Gibson was the DJ back then, and Francis was the drummer. So because he was just a friend of the owner, so they put him with the DJ, and they were like not really going on with each other because they diss each other a lot. But yeah, Francis, that's how he went in. Francis arrived to New York because he wanted to become the student. He was a percussionist, and he wanted to become the student of the drummer of the Miles Davis Quintet. It didn't work out. So he decided to go into production, and in the late 70s, he was already producing a lot with the Top Disco, as I was saying. And Danny Krivit is more or less in the same time. So there were DJs in club like...
I want to say something about Danny Krivit.
Yeah, go.
There's like a little 10-minute short documentary on YouTube where you see how many records this guy has. He's got like literally... I think like 50,000 records or something. So I did a little bit of calculation. He bought like 3 records a day for like 30 or 40 years. So this is the kind of people we're talking about. You know, they've been doing this for 30 years and they've been doing it like absolute crazy. So they all came together and Body and Soul came out, and this is like a little compilation as well. On this compilation is maybe my favorite track. I don't know, I have lots of favorite tracks, but this one, when I found it, I listened to it 25 times in a row on some Sunday. As in all-time favorite? Yeah, as in like, not just from Joe, but like one of my all-time favorite tracks. Joe's spiritual healing version. Should we listen to it, or do you want to say some more about...
We can listen. We can ask how you want to listen. Listen, let's listen.
Yeah. And then maybe while we listen, I'll pass around this book, which is recommended by Joe in an interview somewhere, which is about the mysticism of sound and music. And it talks a bit about the Sufi way of looking at the world and life, and how that translates to music and sound.
Yeah, it goes deep.
was the short version of this track. There's a longer version as well, which I like a little bit more.
Short version, like 7 minutes. 9 minutes. But yeah, now you have a feeling a bit of what body and soul music is, because this is exactly from the album. So Body and Soul was at the Club Vinyl from 96. Then in 2006, Club Vinyl closed. But they're still rocking it. I don't know where they're doing it now, but they're still doing it. Body and Soul is still alive nowadays. So I prepared also some picture here. You can find the logo of the Body and Soul in the first two. Then I put like the 3 men. So you have a picture of Joe nowadays.
Joe as a young guy.
Joe as a young guy, because this guy were for a long time around. So you have Francis here, Krajukan. Okay, Frank Hoys. And then we have it here playing at the Galaxy. Again, the Galaxy is even before Studio 54, huh? So
it's like late 70s.
It was a middle of the 70s. Yeah, it was before Studio 54. Studio 54 opened in 77.
50 years ago, huh?
Yeah, it was 50 years ago, yeah. So this guy, and then we have Danny Krivitz here, and the next one is him playing in Studio 54. I don't know how many people are familiar with the booth of Studio 54, but I'm really familiar with it. It's like it was amazing. Not the concept of the club itself, but its execution was amazing. So yeah, I understand that these people, especially the other two, also Joe, of course, came a bit later, but they're playing in New York from basically when the club scene started. So they're like super legends. And so here you have a picture of them at Club Vinyl, so during the 90s. And then I found also a club picture of when it closed. It was Danny Tenalia, I think, party that night. And lastly, you see them in another venue, still throwing Body and Soul, you know. I think they do it often also at Central Park sometimes, a couple of events of Body and Soul at Central Park. So check it out.
And then another thing we need to talk about is after Spiritual Life Music, he started a new label, Sacred Rhythm Music, which is still going. Also, big tip if you ever come across this compilation, relatively cheap, like 25, 30 euros, but there's like 8 or so tracks on it, and all of them are really good. And it also shows kind of the breadth of his production, collaborations, his different names under which he produces, or different groups. For example, the Lower East Side Pipes, which is like disco. He worked with them like on the production side of it, but it's just like a disco band that does like dub disco kind of stuff. And then he's working with them as well and releasing on his label. So it kind of gives you an idea of his approach to music and to, yeah, kind of like helping build a scene in New York, bringing together live music and like the production side for the dancers in the clubs. So it all like kind of comes together. I'm not gonna play a track from this compilation, but I will pass it around. Yeah, I'm sorry. We only have limited time, and I have some other favorite tracks I want to play more than. Yeah, it's problematic that it's only 2 hours. You need to add an hour at least. I can do this for 2 days straight. I calculated once. I can actually do it for 2 days straight.
Yeah. So also I wanna add that he's indeed pivotal in bringing these live sounds into the production, because even before Joe, there were already producers that were trying to bring word sounds into house, but they did it in a totally different way. They will take a sample and use the sample in this mechanical way, chop it up, you know, and use it in the house, but Joe does something totally different, which is bringing the musician in the studio, recording them live.
And I think it's also important. I think what the reason or a byproduct of working like this is that you are so much closer to the sound and the music. So instead of going through a computer to play your drum that you sampled somewhere from a record that was already a reproduction of the music that was played live, like there's a lot of steps in that chain where you just like remove yourself more and more from the music. So if you see him...
Such a beautiful way to say it.
Yeah, but if you see him play live, for example, as a DJ, he already brings that in using the sound effects, but sometimes he also does like hybrid sets where he has some congas and uses his voice and like really is like doing some production live on the spot. Or he does this with other musicians as well. I saw him do this with Kuniyuki once, another really amazing house and techno producer from Japan, who also uses a lot of the same like production techniques, I guess, and they collaborate as well. If you type in Kuniyuki and Claussell into Discogs, you'll find some beautiful music. 20-minute track. Another really good one.
But yeah, I love how you say that. Like, if you use just a drum sample by sample, you deprive basically the whole life and the whole human factor from it almost.
Yeah, but also you are removing yourself from the source of the sound and the music.
Yeah,
that's also why I prefer to play records. Is because if I handle the record, I get closer to the actual sound that's coming out through the needle and the mixer. Whereas if you're playing digital, you're just either you're pressing the Q button or you're not pressing the Q button.
Yeah.
But there's no almost pressing the Q button. It's digital, it's 1 or 0. But with a record, you can play with the turntable.
I know. We have another scratcher here in the...
Yeah, for example, I don't scratch, but like I've been playing around with it in my house. Like, how does a record sound if you slow it down or like touch it or pull it back and send that through an echo, and then what happens, you know? I think we have half an hour left.
Yeah. So for the last half an hour, Timo's gonna play tracks and talk in between.
Yeah.
But we're gonna start with the last release, right?
Yeah, this is the last, or like one of the latest Joe Claussell things that's come out. It's a collaboration with Nicola Conte. I think he's Italian jazz guy.
Yeah. It's this year it come out, right?
Yeah. The yellow ones are the people working on the tracks. So you see this is really live music, but it will sound like club music in some way. Which one do you want to play? Do you have preference?
No, honestly, I don't. I'm not really familiar with this latest album.
Okay,
so you can
I'll pick one from my scribbled notes.
But I'm familiar with Nicola Conte, of course, because I just need to catch up. Sometimes they do stuff you need just to catch up.
The problem is, even if you spend all your time catching up to his music, you still don't catch up because there's so much output and so much history.
I know, man. I know.
Yeah, I love Nicola Conte as well. At one point, I was like considering buying his whole discography on Bandcamp, and I was like, "No, stop, Timo.
It's too much." Yeah, I do a lot of jets, also like jets, like full jets.
This is D1 Into the Light of Love, featuring Miles Sanko. Joaquin's Spirit of the Dance version. How does this work? doing this, but because we don't have a lot of time left, and I do want to play a couple more records, I'm cutting this one off and playing this other one, which is like a disco gospel overdub that you might have heard me play in my sets past summer. And then, oh, sorry, big time banger also. Do like playing it a little bit faster. This was So Much to Live For, or at least a big part of it. One of his shorter songs, only 5 minutes. This next one is a completely different side of him. Stuff that I think you can find under his Hidden Revealed or Mental Remedy alias. Or if you see, for example, Joe Claussell's Divergent Mix, which is more the techno, deep, trippy, I don't know what it is, but like blows your head off. Yeah. Curious what you think of this one.
Feel the rhythm.
full length of this beautiful, trippy, danceable track. Jotan Avni, Pentimento, Joe Claussell's Divergent Mix. And then as a last one, because we're nearing the end, playing Joe Claussell, Sayaji, the dance trance version. It sounds like what the name says, but it's like one of the things you rarely see on his records. So that's why I'm playing this. It's also one of my favorite finds of him because it's super cheap. No one knows about it. I've gifted it to some people because I've bought copies for like 3, 4, 5 euros, hoping to hear it on a good sound system being played somewhere. This is kind of like, I think, if you're playing this in a party setting, what you would play at the deep end of the house part of the night, where people go really inside themselves to go on a bit of an inner journey. I put little notes on my records that say inner dance. This is for me one of those tracks. So that was the last track of the, what is this, a lecture panel?
Talk show, whatever it is, you
Live
experience
stream.
it.
I have a playlist on YouTube with like 100 Joe Claussell tracks in it. I will also make a little playlist about the tracks I played tonight. I will also bring a lot of these records to NAR next Thursday for Locomotion, for which I invited another big Joe Claussell fan, Chima Izaro. So we're both looking to impress each other with our Joe Claussell selection. So come down if you like Joe Claussell music.
Yes. So that was it for tonight. There's still gonna be music, probably by the bar, but no more Joe for now. Sad, but yeah, as Timo said, next week Thursday, there's a lot of Joe coming up. I'm gonna be there. So yeah, big thank to Timo. He also has this amazing shirt. I want to say the Locomotion.
Locomotion shirts.
I also
still
bought it.
available.
It's very nice for the dance. It's really cozy. But yeah, I hope you enjoy it. Thanks so much for coming to support, to choose.
Yeah, thanks everyone for coming, for tuning in. Thank you, Gio, for setting this all up and pushing culture and educating people on music. It's very important and not something that happens a lot. So very grateful to be able to share it like this with you. It's beautiful.
You're welcome. Thank you for choosing music culture.
Thanks for choosing Joe Claussell.